How to start investing with less than 2,000 naira. Most Nigerians hear the word investing and immediately think of big business moguls, politicians, or people with millions sitting in the bank. We've been conditioned to believe you need a massive pile of cash just to get a seat at the table. But the truth, it's completely different. Right now, you can start with less than 2,000 naira, not next year, not when you finally get that massive promotion. Today, with that single 2,000 naira, you can actually own a piece of real, multi-billion naira companies operating right here in Nigeria. Now, let's be clear before we go any further. This is not some new crypto hype that will crash by next week. This is not sports betting, and this is definitely not a Ponzi scheme, where you need to bring two people to bring two people. This is real, legitimate investing, and the first investment most people completely misunderstand is stocks. When you hear the word stocks, your mind probably goes straight to complicated financial news, chaotic trading floors, or confusing charts. It feels intimidating, but it's actually incredibly simple. When you strip away the fancy language, forget words like equity, forget securities or asset classes. You don't need textbook jargon to build wealth. Think about it like this. If you buy stock in MTN Nigeria, you now own a tiny piece of MTN. It is that straightforward. Imagine your friend starts a business and divides it into small pieces. If you buy just one piece, you now officially own part of that business. That is exactly what a stock is. You're not gambling on random numbers on a screen. You're buying into real, physical businesses, with buildings, employees, and customers who pay them every single day. But here's the important part, not every company is worth buying. How do you actually pick a company that won't vanish with your money tomorrow? You look for what I call life cycle businesses. These aren't trending companies. They aren't hyping themselves up on social media. They survive because they are tied directly to daily human survival. Think about it. Even when the economy is tough, people still need to send money. People still need data. People still build houses. And people absolutely still need to eat. When you invest in these sectors, you are investing in Nigerian daily life. Let's look at the first one. Banking stocks. Money always moves. Think about how many times you opened your banking app this week just to move money. Every single time you make a transfer, someone is making a profit. Take GTCO for example. You probably know them as GT Bank. They've been around for over 30 years, surviving recessions, currency changes, and massive banking reforms. Right now, their stock trades around 147 to 150 naira per share. That means with your 2,000 naira, you can instantly become a part owner and buy about 13 shares. Then you have Zenith Bank, another giant that's been operating for over 3 decades, known for heavy financial discipline and consistent profits. The share price sits around 130 to 135 naira, where 2,000 naira buys you about 15 shares. Why are these evergreen? Because as long as money exists, banks remain at the dead center of the Nigerian economy. They profit whether the economy is booming or struggling. To mint stocks, Nigeria keeps building. Now look outside. The population is exploding, cities are expanding, and everywhere you turn, someone is mixing concrete. That brings us to Dangote Cement. They have absolutely dominated the industry for over a decade, becoming the largest cement producer in the entire African continent. Now, because it's a massive company, one share costs around 1,150 to 1,180 naira. But remember our rule, you don't need millions. Where 2,000 naira is still enough to buy you 2 shares. If you want a faster growing competitor, there's BUA Cement. They are younger, but they've grown aggressively over the last 15 years to challenge the market leader. Their stock is around 430 to 450 naira, where 2,000 naira gets you about 4 shares. The logic here is simple. As long as Nigerians need roofs over their heads, roads under their cars, and shops for their businesses, cement will never go out of style. Telecom stocks. Data never stops. Let's be honest, when your data finishes, what's the next thing you do? You buy more. You might cut back on clothes or eating out, but that data subscription must drop. That's why MTN Nigeria is such a powerhouse. They've been here for over 20 years, and they are the largest telecom provider in the country. One share goes for about 800 to 850 naira. With 2,000 naira, you can grab 2 shares. Every time millions of Nigerians make a call, browse TikTok, or send a mobile payment, MTN makes money. And as a shareholder, you own a piece of that infrastructure. Consumer goods, daily life never stops. Finally, let's talk about things we physically consume every day. No matter how broke the country is, people must eat, bathe, and clean. Look at Nestlé Nigeria. They've been in this country for over 60 years. Think about Milo, Maggi, Golden Morn. These are household staples used by millions every morning because they are so established. Share costs between 1,200 and 1,500 naira, or 2,000 naira comfortably buys you one share. If you want more shares for your money, you can look at Dangote Sugar, a basic product used in homes, bakeries, and soft drinks. It trades around 65 to 75 naira per share, where 2,000 naira gets you about 28 shares. Then there's Nigerian breweries, operating for over 70 years, serving lifestyle consumption. Even when times are hard, people still buy beverages at 60 to 70 naira a share, or 2,000 naira gets 30 shares. They've been globally recognized for a century and locally trusted for decades, making household essentials like Close-Up and Lifebuoy. At 55 to 70 naira per share, you can walk away with roughly 33 shares. Notice something very important here. Some of these stocks cost 1,500 naira for just one share. Others cost less than 100 naira, letting you buy 30 shares with the exact same 2,000 naira. But write this down somewhere. Don't invest because a stock is cheap. Invest because the business is strong. If you want to know how to actually buy your stocks in less than 30 minutes, keep watching. Buying 30 pieces of a dying business is useless. Compare to owning just one piece of a giant that will survive the next 20 years. When you buy these strong companies, they don't just sit there. Many of them pay out dividends, which is just a fancy word for sharing their profits with you. Usually once or twice a year, they send cash straight to your account, just for holding their stock. Over time, if you let that money sit, and you keep adding your small 2,000 naira consistently, a beautiful thing called compounding happens, where money starts making money. And then that new money starts making its own money. It builds momentum slowly. Let's be completely honest. I'm not making any promises here. These stocks are not guaranteed magic tricks that can never fail. These are simply real examples of companies long-term investors study, because their survival is deeply connected to everyday Nigerian life. 5. How to start with less than 2,000 naira. So now, you might be thinking, okay, this sounds good, but how do I even start with less than 2,000 naira? Here's the truth. Starting is actually easier than most people think. Today, in Nigeria, you can invest using apps like Charker, Veristem, Harrywise, or Trove. These platforms allow you to buy shares directly from your phone. Here's how it works in simple steps. First, you create an account using your basic details. You complete identity verification, usually with your ID card and phone number. The platform will provide you with a CSES. After that, you fund your wallet using your bank transfer, and just like that you're inside the system. From there, you choose your first stock, ideally one strong company like the ones we discussed earlier. You buy your first share. That's it. Now, listen carefully. Your first goal is not to become rich overnight. Your first goal is to understand how investing works. Start small, learn slowly. Even 2,000 naira is enough to begin your journey. Some companies even pay you while you hold their shares. This is called dividends. It simply means you receive a small portion of their profits, just for being an investor. So while you're learning, your money is also quietly working for you. Let's end with this: investing is not magic, it's a habit. Nobody starts as a smart investor. People learn. The most powerful thing about investing is not the money, it's the mindset. Because wealth does not grow instantly. It grows slowly through patience, consistency, and understanding. You don't need millions to begin. You just need to begin.